So developing a framework for personal and professional empowerment is about moving theory about reflective practice to the practical application of reflective practice. And a key requisite for doing this is really taking on a questioning role for ourselves as teachers. It's therefore useful to explore some key questions that we can relate to our role, our professional role, and through this questioning approach, we can start to develop a sense of personal empowerment. So one set of questions that we can explore are questions which get us to look backwards, look into the past, look at what has happened in the classroom. Questions like, how much did you know about the subject before you started teaching it? Questions like, have you done similar kinds of work in the past? And also questions like, what problems did you encounter when you were teaching these subjects previously? By backward-looking questions, these provide a foundation for us to explore current experience. They provide a foundation from which we can build. After we have engaged with some questions which get us to look backwards, look historically at our practice, we can consider some questions which help us look inward. Inward-looking questions are those which help us understand our reactions, our response to experiences that we have in the classroom. Questions like, what did you or do you currently find frustrating about work? Did you meet particular standards for teaching when you were working in the classroom? And perhaps one of the most important is, how do you currently feel about the work that you're doing? By looking inward, the reflective practitioner is taking chance to contextualize the backward-looking responses and thereby understanding within this particular framework how we're working as reflective practitioners. So we have backward-looking questions and we have inward-looking questions. We also have outward-looking questions. This is where we're looking at the context that we're working in as reflective practitioners and trying to develop an understanding about where we fit into the jigsaw picture that is the whole of education, whether that is just within the school, the educational environment that we're working in, or whether it's a bigger picture nationally. But there are questions that we can ask here. For example, do we teach in the way that other people are teaching in the school? How do we compare with others? And questions like, in what ways are our approaches to teaching similar to others? How are they different? And what grade would you give yourself in relation to others if you were going to try and measure the work that you're doing? And so what we need to think about is how we can put these questions, these categories of questions, into a form that we can operationalize. We have a foundation in backward-looking questions, and we analyze our role with inward-looking questions and outward-looking questions. And so what we need to do is ask questions which are forward-looking. In other words, what will we do next? What changes do we need to make? How will we operationalize things which we're learning? And so questions like, one thing I would like to improve upon is, would be a good question to ask ourselves as reflective practitioners. Another question is, what will I change for the next lesson? It is a particular forward-looking question which helps us put into action the learning that we acquire from the previous types of questioning.